In the previous video, we started adding background image to our buttons. Now, I would like to show you, as I've mentioned, I'd like to show you what our button actually looks like. So I'm going to open it in Photoshop, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So now, if I use the ruler and guides, you can see the button part of our Add to Button section will have this repetitive background, which will go horizontally. Then we have these buttons here, the first state, which is just a gray button, and then we're gonna have our hover status as well, and obviously they're gonna be divided roughly like this. So we basically have status for normal status and then for hover. And obviously we've got this. This is a sprite image. Obviously everything is within one image, rather than loading separate images into the browser. So basically this is what it looks like. That's why we're using this background positioning here. As you can see, -22, because our first status for our add to basket, so for our increaser, will be starting at 22 pixels here. Then 44 for our bottom one, which is going to be here, and so on. Sorry, this is not for add for decrease. This is for add hover, which obviously starts in this position here. So when we hover over this button, we're gonna see this. But anyway, let's go back to our editor. Let's not save these changes, and let's continue with our style sheet. So we go for subtract now. We're going to copy this line from add button, and this one will be -33 pixels. Then we copy the entire thing, add hover to it, and this one will have position 55. Okay, so we've got our buttons now. Basket quantity, which is our text field. Width will be 30 pixels. Height will be 20 pixels. And then we're going to add border, which is solid, 1 pixel, and the color will be AAA. Now, 20 pixels, as you may remember, we have 22 pixels height of all elements, but we're doing 30 pixels here because we will have 1 pixel border at the top and the bottom. So altogether, obviously, twice is 2, and 30 plus 2 is obviously 32. So now we're going to add text align to the center. We'll have font size of 10 pixels. And that's it with our basket quantity field. Now we're going to add to basket div, which will have color FFF. Then we have cursor pointer again. We'll have height of 18 pixels. And this is because we want to apply some padding. We're going to have padding top 4 pixels, 0, 0 on the right and bottom, and 10 on the left. Then we go for width of 90 pixels, and we're going to apply important here. Then we have background, URL, images, button.png, repeat X, which is horizontally, 0 and 0. Then we go for some rounded corners, so we're gonna start with MOZ, border, radius, top left, and we're going to apply 0 pixels. And I'm going to copy this whole thing because I don't like typing too much. Okay, so we're gonna have top left, we're gonna have top right. We'll have 13 pixels. Then we'll have bottom right, which will have also 13 pixels, and bottom left, which will have 0 pixels. Then we have web kit, border hyphen radius. Okay, and we're going to have 0, 13 pixels, 13 pixels, and 0. Actually, we could remove these pixels here as well. And then we're gonna have new CSS, CSS3 definition, simply border radius 0, 13 pixels, 13 pixels, and 0. Okay, so this is our add to basket button. Now for the result div, we're going to do result, just to give it some formatting. Margin bottom, we're gonna do 20 pixels. Then we're gonna have padding of 20 pixels. Display block width will do 760 pixels. Because of the padding, obviously the wrapper is 800, so if we do this twice, it's 40. 800 minus 40 is only 760. Then we have clear both. Border, we're going to do dashed 1 pixel AAA, and height, let's make it 60 pixels. Then the last thing, we need to create the class product with padding 3 pixels and 0 pixels. And that's everything within our core CSS. If we go to our browser, refresh the page, hey, you can see we've got nearly everything, because this bottom here doesn't show quite right. So I'm assuming I've misspelled the class name. If we go back to our index, we have subtract, okay. So obviously we need to remove this S here. If we go back to our browser, refresh, now the buttons here. We obviously can click on these buttons. They have hover status, and as you can see, add to basket button also have a pointer, which is this hand here. So they all seem to be fine. Our preview area is done as well. So now let's start doing some JavaScript coding.